The listening post drifted in silence, orbiting the edge of the Perseus Rift. It had been abandoned for decades, left behind by an alien empire that no longer cared about such remote places. Its antennas were broken, its solar panels cracked, and its systems barely alive. Yet somehow, against all odds, the old machine still listened. On a quiet night cycle, the silence was broken. A faint pulse moved through the void. At first, it seemed like background static, just random noise from distant stars. But as the signal repeated again and again, patterns began to form. Buried deep inside the sound was something no one expected. Words. Faint, broken, but unmistakable. Human words. When the signal reached the starship Aurora's wake, Captain Alara Miles was the first to hear it. She leaned closer to the console, her eyes narrowing as the playback repeated. It was weak, distorted, almost like a whisper through static. Yet the moment she heard it, her skin prickled. It was a voice, a human voice. Help us find the power. The crew gathered around her. Lieutenant RYN, her young communications officer, replayed the signal, adjusting filters. Slowly, the voice grew clearer, though it still sounded ghostly and distant, as if speaking from the grave. Help us find the power hidden inside humanity. The bridge fell silent. For a moment, no one spoke. That's impossible, said Commander Hale, the ship's first officer. There are no human colonies this far out. The nearest outpost is hundreds of light years away. RYN shook his head. And this is beyond even that. Captain, the signal originates inside the rift. The words carried weight. The Perseus Rift was a dead zone, a vast black scar across the galaxy. Alien maps marked it as forbidden. Ships that entered never returned. Stories of ghost fleets and strange energies spread among travelers, but no one ever proved them true. Every empire avoided it. Every explorer feared it. And yet, here was a human voice calling from its heart. Ilara's hands tightened around the console. Could it be a trap? She asked. Most likely, Hale replied. An alien trick. Maybe pirates trying to lure us in. But Ilara was not convinced. Something about the signal felt different. It wasn't hostile. It wasn't deception. There was desperation in that voice. A cry across time and space. The signal repeated again, softer now, fading like a dying breath. RYN whispered, "It almost sounds ancient." Ancient. Hale scoffed. Humans didn't leave Earth until a few centuries ago. There's no way an ancient human voice is waiting for us in the rift. But Ilara kept listening, and the more she listened, the more unsettled she felt. The voice carried weight, as though it had waited millennia for someone to answer. Help us. The bridge lights flickered as if the signal itself interfered with the ship's systems. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Ilara stood tall. Set a course. We're going after it. Hale turned to her, his voice sharp. Captain, with respect, this is madness. No one enters the rift. Every alien record says the same thing. Death waits inside. If the signal is real, then whoever sent it is already long gone. Maybe, Ilara said, her tone steady. Or maybe not. If there's even a chance this is human, we can't ignore it. The crew hesitated. Fear showed on their faces, but beneath it, something else stirred, curiosity. Humanity had always been different from other races. Where others turned away in fear, humans looked closer. Where others fled the dark, humans stepped into it. The ship's engines roared to life. Slowly, the Aurora's wake shifted course, heading straight toward the black scar in space. As the rift loomed large on the viewscreen, the stars began to vanish, swallowed by a curtain of shadow. The signal grew stronger the closer they came, though the words became harder to understand. Sometimes a voice sounded male, sometimes female. Sometimes it was many voices at once. The crew reported strange sensations. RYN said he felt like someone was watching them. Another officer swore he heard whispers even when the speakers were off. The closer they drew, the colder the air seemed to grow, as if the rift itself was bleeding into the ship. Yet Ilara pressed forward. Her eyes stayed locked on the void ahead. Finally, the ship crossed the boundary. Darkness swallowed them. The stars disappeared, and the ship's scanners failed. Every screen filled with static. The Aurora's wake drifted blind through the void. Then, in the silence, the voice spoke again, clearer than ever. "Humans, you have returned." Every heart on the bridge stopped. The crew looked to Elara, but she had no answers. All she knew was that they had stepped into something far greater than themselves. Something old, something dangerous. And somewhere in the shadows of the rift, humanity's forgotten past was waiting. The Aurora's wake drifted in the darkness of the rift, surrounded by silence so complete it felt alive. The crew spoke little, their voices hushed as though afraid of being overheard by something unseen. Only the soft hum of the ship's failing systems broke the stillness. At the center of the bridge, Lieutenant Arwen leaned over his console, sweat dripping from his brow. He worked furiously to decode the strange transmission, fingers flying across the keys. The signal pulsed again, and the ship's lights flickered as if the voice reached into the circuits themselves. Arwen's eyes widened. "Captain, I think I found something." Elara moved beside him, her gaze fixed on the screen. The broken word began to untangle, falling into a sequence that made no sense at first. Fragments of English mixed with symbols no one recognized. "It's not just language," Arwen whispered. "It's code. Something layered. Like two voices speaking at once, one human, one alien." "Translate both," Elara ordered. The ship's AI struggled, groaning through static as if resisting the task. Finally, the computer produced a rough transcript. Elara read it aloud, her voice steady but low. "To those who follow, we are lost, but not gone. The power sleeps in humanity, waiting. It cannot be taken, only awakened. Protect it, find it, or the galaxy will burn." The words hung in the air like smoke. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Commander Hale broke the silence, his jaw tight. "Superstition. Nonsense. This isn't a message. It's a trick. Some alien race planted it here to lure fools like us into their trap." Arwen shook his head. "No, sir. I've studied alien transmissions all my life. Nothing matches this. These are Earth dialects, old forms, centuries old. Whoever made this, they were human." "That's impossible," Hale snapped. "Humans never traveled this far until a few decades ago." But Elara wasn't listening to their argument. Her eyes lingered on the words "the power sleeps in humanity." They stirred something in her, something she could not explain. It felt less like a warning and more like a memory. The signal pulsed again, louder now, almost urgent. Lights dimmed across the bridge. The crew's breath caught as new words bled through the static. "Do not trust the Watchers. They seek what is yours." The message fractured, breaking apart into distorted echoes. Arwen slammed his console in frustration. "It's degrading. If I don't stabilize it, we'll lose the message completely." "Do it," Elara commanded. The ship groaned as Arwen redirected power to the communications array. The engines dimmed, leaving the ship adrift in the void. The crew watched in silence as the signal sharpened one last time. A final phrase whispered through the speakers, clear as glass. "Only humans may open the way." The bridge fell silent again. No one moved. The words carried a weight none of them could deny. Hale exhaled slowly. "So that's it, then. A baited hook. Aliens couldn't get inside, so they planted a message saying only humans can open it. Clever, simple, deadly." But before Elara could respond, the ship shuddered. A ripple of force swept through the hull, like a wave passing through the void. The crew stumbled, alarms blared, and the lights turned crimson. "Captain," cried Arwen. "The signal, it's not just transmitting, it's pulling us in." On the view screen, the darkness ahead twisted, bending like liquid. A shape emerged, a spiral tunnel of shimmering black, opening wide like a maw. The Aurora's wake was being dragged toward it, helpless against the pull. Engines to full reverse. Hale shouted. The helmsman obeyed, but the engine screamed in protest. The ship didn't move. Elara gripped the arm of her chair, her knuckles white. "Hold steady. Don't fight it." The crew turned to her in disbelief. "Captain, are you insane?" Hale shouted. "No," she said softly, her eyes never leaving the tunnel ahead. It wants us to enter. That's what the message means. It called for us. Her words hung heavy. The tunnel expanded until it filled the entire view screen. Inside it, faint lights flickered, like distant lanterns in an endless cave. The signal grew stronger, no longer a whisper but a chorus, layered with countless voices, men, women, young, old, all speaking in unison. Humanity, come home. The ship crossed the threshold. Darkness swallowed them whole. For a moment, there was nothing, no stars, no sound, no time. The crew felt weightless, suspended in a void that seemed alive with unseen eyes. Then the ship jolted violently. Alarm screamed, and the tunnel spat them out into a region unlike anything they had ever seen. The rift's interior stretched before them, an endless sea of wreckage. Ships of every alien design floated broken and silent, their hulls torn, their lights long dead. Empires had entered here before. All had perished. The crew stared in horror. By the stars, Awayan whispered. How many tried? Too many, Ilara answered. And yet, as the ship moved deeper, they realized something strange. Amid the endless alien ruins, their senses found no trace of human vessels. Not one. Hale frowned. So every empire tried, except us. Until now. Ilara's eyes narrowed. Or perhaps we already did. The signal pulsed again, stronger than ever, guiding them deeper into the graveyard. Whatever awaited them here, it had been waiting for humanity alone. The Aurora's wake drifted deeper into the rift. Around them stretched a sea of shadows and silence. Broken ships floated endlessly, their hulls cracked, their weapons twisted. Some were as small as shuttles, others as massive as synthesized carriers. Every empire had left its bones here. The crew stayed in stunned silence. It was like a graveyard without end. Awayan's voice was barely above a whisper. Captain, these wrecks are from 100 different species. Some of them are thousands of years old. Ilara nodded slowly. This is where the rift keeps its secrets. Every empire came searching, and none survived. The sensors crackled with interference, refusing to give clear readings. Strange waves passed through the ship, bending light and sound. Sometimes the crew thought they heard voices outside the hull. Sometimes they swore they saw shadows moving across the ruined ships. Hale stood rigid at his post. Captain, we should leave. We've seen enough. If this place destroyed fleets larger than ours, we don't stand a chance. But Ilara's eyes stayed on the forward screen. The signal was still there, guiding them, calling them. She couldn't explain it, but the voice felt familiar, as if it had been waiting for her personally. Not yet, she said quietly. We've come too far. The ship moved past a shattered alien cruiser. Its surface was scarred with deep burns, as though struck by a force no weapon could explain. Through a gaping hole, the crew could see the inside, a forest of frozen bodies. Alien faces twisted in fear, locked in silent screams. A shiver passed through the bridge. Awayan muttered, whatever killed them, it wasn't a battle. They looked like they died all at once. The Aurora's wake continued deeper. The farther they went, the stranger the rift became. Time itself seemed unstable. Clocks drifted out of sync, seconds stretching longer than they should. Crew members reported flashes of memory, visions of places they had never been, lives they had never lived. One pilot gasped suddenly, clutching his head. I saw Earth, but not like now. Ancient. People walking under strange stars. I don't understand. Ilara stared at him with a hand. Stay calm. Whatever this place is, it's showing us things. Maybe warnings. Maybe memories. The rift whispered to them, though no one could say in what language. Sometimes it sounded like English, sometimes like alien tongues, sometimes like the soft murmur of thought itself. The crew tried to ignore it, but the whispers grew harder to push away. At last, they came upon something different. Floating at the rift center was a structure. Unlike the broken ships, it was intact, massive and silent, shaped like a great ring of stone and metal. Its surface glowed faintly with lines of silver, pulsing like veins. The crew gasped. Hale's voice trembled. That is not alien. Ilara leaned forward. He was right. The design was different from any alien craft they had seen. Its angles, its symmetry, it felt human. Not modern human, but older, Far older. How could this be here? RYN whispered. We weren't supposed to be out here until recently. This thing, it looks thousands of years old. As they approached, the signal grew stronger. The ring pulsed with each beat of the transmission, like a heart. The voice returned, clearer now. Only humans may enter. The others are not chosen. The ship's systems flickered. A deep rumble shook the hull as the structure awakened. Massive gates unfolded from the ring, revealing a hollow chamber inside. Hale barked, Captain, this is insane. That thing is a trap. It's the reason all these ships are wrecked. Then why didn't it destroy us already? Ilara asked calmly. The truth was plain. The structure was responding to them. Not to the ship's power, not to its weapons, but to their presence. Against Hale's protest, Ilara gave the order. Take us in. The Aurora's wake glided toward the ring. As soon as it crossed its boundary, the ship shuddered but did not break. Instead, the glowing walls lit up brighter, as though recognizing them. The alien wrecks outside remained cold and lifeless. But inside, the chamber came alive for the humans. Panels shifted. Symbols flared across the walls. Symbols no alien race had ever deciphered, but the humans understood instinctively. It was not language in the usual sense. It was meaning. RYN stared in awe. Captain, it's responding to us, like it knows we belong here. Ilara felt it too. A strange warmth spread through her chest, a sense of belonging in a place she had never seen. The whispers in the rift grew louder, echoing inside their minds. You are the last. You are the first. Humanity's path begins again. The crew sat frozen, their hearts pounding. For centuries, aliens had feared this place. For centuries, they had perished trying to enter. But now, for the first time, humans had stepped where no one else could. And the rift itself welcomed them. The Aurora's wake hovered inside the massive ring. The chamber stretched endlessly around them, its walls glowing with pale silver lines that pulsed like veins under skin. It was not cold like alien ruins usually were. Instead, the air, even through the ship's hull, seemed warm, almost alive, as though the structure itself was breathing. The crew sat in silence, staring at the glowing symbols drifting across the walls. They weren't written in any known language. Yet strangely, everyone on the bridge understood their meaning without effort. RYN whispered, It's not translation. It's direct thought. The symbols are talking to us. Ilara's eyes narrowed as she studied them. Welcome, children of Earth. The words weren't spoken, yet they rang clear inside her mind. Her first officer, Hale, shifted uncomfortably. His hand rested on his sidearm as if the glowing walls might attack at any moment. Captain, this place is unnatural. We don't belong here. But RYN's voice carried a tremor of awe. No, Commander, we do. That's the point. Don't you feel it? It's like it's alive, and it knows us. The ship's lights dimmed, and suddenly the walls of the ring shifted. Massive slabs of stone and metal rotated, forming a corridor deeper inside. Ilara stood, her face calm but her heartbeat racing. Prepare an away team. We're going in. Hale immediately stepped forward. With respect, Captain, I must protest. We don't know what's inside. It could kill us all. Ilara looked at him firmly. If it wanted us dead, it had 1,000 chances already. It didn't destroy us. It opened for us. This is meant for humanity. We're going. Minutes later, Ilara, Hale, RYN, and a small team stepped through the airlock. Their boots touched the floor of the chamber, and the moment they did, the walls flared with light. The corridor ahead stretched into darkness, glowing symbols guiding their way like lanterns. The air was breathable, not just by chance, perfectly breathable, as though designed for humans. RYN touched the nearest wall, and it responded instantly. Silver light flowed from his hand, racing down the corridor, opening new doors as if welcoming them deeper. Hale muttered, This is wrong. This place is waiting for us. That doesn't happen by accident. They moved cautiously down the corridor, weapons ready, though none of them could shake the strained pull drawing them forward. Finally, they entered a vast chamber. It was a hall unlike anything they had ever seen. Towers of crystal rose from the floor, each glowing faintly. Between them floated shimmering threads of light, weaving together like a web. At the center stood a pedestal, carved with symbols so old they looked like they had been here forever. The moment the humans entered, the chamber awoke. The crystals flared brighter, and the light threads hummed with power. The air vibrated with a deep tone, almost like a heartbeat. Arwayan stepped closer, his voice shaking. "It's some kind of memory chamber. I can feel it. It's filled with information, waiting for us." Ilara approached the pedestal. As she reached out, Hale barked, "Don't touch it!" But it was too late. Her hand brushed the surface, and the chamber exploded with light. The crew shielded their eyes, but the brilliance didn't burn. It filled them. Images flooded their minds, so fast they gasped for air. They saw humans, not modern humans, but ancient ones. Figures walking among stars, building cities on distant worlds, long before recorded history. They saw fleets of ships far more advanced than anything in the present age. They saw battles against monstrous alien enemies, entire galaxies trembling before them. And then, silence. A great fall. The images showed humanity retreating, abandoning the stars, leaving behind only ruins like this one. The knowledge, the power, it was buried, forgotten. Ilara's breath caught. She could feel the truth in the vision. Humanity had been here before. Long before history remembered, humans had touched the stars, and something had erased it all. The voice returned, filling the chamber. The others tried and failed. They do not carry what you carry. Only humanity holds a key. Only humanity remembers, even when it forgets. The crew staggered as the vision faded. Arwayan fell to his knees, tears in his eyes. "Captain, it's true. We were out here once, long ago. We lost it all, but some part of us still remembers." Hale shook his head violently. "No. Lies. This is manipulation. These visions, illusions meant to trick us." But even as he spoke, the chamber responded again. The pedestal split open, revealing a crystal sphere floating in the air. Inside it swirled a light that seemed alive, shifting with every human heartbeat. Ilara reached for it, drawn by instinct. As her fingers touched the sphere, it pulsed with warmth, and the voice whispered once more, "The power sleeps in you. Awaken it, or all will be lost again." The chamber dimmed, leaving the humans breathless in silence. The pedestal closed, the visions fading like dreams, but the sphere remained in Ilara's hands. Hale's face was pale. "Captain, whatever that is, it's dangerous. We should destroy it before it destroys us." Ilara stared at the glowing sphere, its light reflecting in her eyes. She didn't know why, but she knew one thing for certain. It was not just a relic. It was a key, a piece of humanity's forgotten past. And now, it was hers to protect. The glowing sphere floated above Ilara's palm, its light pulsing in rhythm with a heartbeat. The chamber around them hummed softly, as though the entire structure was alive, waiting for her choice. The crew stood frozen, caught between awe and fear. Hale broke the silence first, his voice sharp. "Captain, put that thing down. We don't know what it is. It could be controlling you." But Ilara didn't move. The sphere's warmth was not hostile. It felt familiar, as if it had always been meant for her hand. She spoke quietly, almost to herself. "It's not a weapon. It's memory." The light flared, and suddenly the chamber transformed again. The walls dissolved into images, living visions that surrounded the humans completely. They saw a galaxy not as it was now, but as it had been long ago. Humanity was everywhere, spread across countless worlds. Not weak, not fragile, but strong, guiding fleets of shining ships. Their cities rose like towers of light. Their voices echoed across the stars. Ilara's heart pounded. This is us." The voice returned, gentle but firm, filling their minds without sound. "Yes, humanity walked among the stars when the galaxy was still young. You were the bridge between races, the spark that bound all others together. But power breeds envy. The Watchers feared what you carried. They sought to erase you." The images shifted, giant alien forms cloaked in shadow, vast fleets blotting out the stars. The Watchers, unseen but terrible, descended upon humanity. Worlds burned. Armies fell. One by one, humanity's strongholds vanished. And yet, even as their empires collapsed, the ancient humans did not surrender completely. They hid their greatest secret here, in the rift, waiting for their descendants to return. Asterisk, what makes you different is not your weapons, not your numbers, not your strength, the voice continued. It is your spirit. You endure what others cannot. You hope when others despair. You create bonds where others see only walls. That is why you alone may touch the core. RYN stumbled forward, tears welling in his eyes. The core, the energy that holds this galaxy together, it responds to us. The voice answered, yes. The core is life itself, the song of creation. The Watchers cannot reach it. No alien mind can touch it. But you can. Humanity was born for this. Ilara felt the weight of the sphere deepen. Inside its light, she could see threads of energy stretching into the distance, linking stars, worlds, and even living hearts. It was more than power, it was connection. Her breath caught. This is what they wanted to hide. The reason they feared us. The vision shifted again. They saw alien fleets entering the rift over the centuries. Krell, Dvarin, Yilf, and many more. Each one tried to seize the core's chamber. Each one perished. The structure rejected them. But when humans entered, the doors opened willingly. The chamber responded. The core accepted them. Hale's voice cracked. Captain, listen to yourself. This is madness. Do you hear what it's saying? That we're special? That we're chosen? That's exactly the kind of myth that starts wars. Ilara turned to him, her expression calm but unshakable. Maybe it's a myth, or maybe it's a truth. Either way, someone left this here for us. And the galaxy is already at war, wars we've been losing. This could change everything. The chamber pulsed as if agreeing with her words. The sphere's light brightened, spilling across the crew. One by one, they felt it, images rushing through their minds. Memories not their own. RYN gasped. I can see them, the old humans. I can feel their courage, their determination. Another crew member whispered, it's like they are still with us, guiding us. The power was not only knowledge, it was inheritance. Ilara closed her fingers around the sphere. Its light did not fade but sank into her, glowing faintly beneath her skin. She felt a surge of strength, not physical but deeper, as though the very heartbeat of the galaxy pulsed inside her chest. The voice spoke one last time. You have awakened the memory, but memory is not enough. The Watchers return. The galaxy is not ready. Humanity must rise again, or it will fall to darkness. The chamber dimmed. The visions faded. The sphere was gone, its light now part of Ilara herself. The crew stood in silence, shaken by what they had seen. None of them could deny the truth, not after feeling it in their own minds. But fear remained. Hale broke the silence. Captain, do you realize what this means? If the other empires learn of this, they won't see us as chosen. They'll see us as a threat. They'll burn every human world to ash before letting us rise again. Ilara met his eyes. Then we'll make sure they never stop us. For the first time, she didn't speak as just a captain. She spoke as something greater, a leader carrying the weight of forgotten legacy. RYN swallowed hard. Captain, the message said the Watchers would return. Do you think that's true? Ilara looked out into the rift, her hand still glowing faintly. The shadows seemed to move, as if something vast and ancient was already watching. Yes, she whispered. They are already coming.